Hey everybody, it's Swift Streams PC, and this is the first episode of Swift Talk. And so what we do on these are we're going to talk about anything that's trending. There are a couple of things that I had missed, one of those being secret invasions. So I'm going to talk about that and just go over a quick overview on what secret invasion rating is, what is my rating of it, and what I feel about the show.
You know that talk, that Swift talk, that Swift talk. You can't understand us, cause you're too soft. Shit, how they go.
So Secret Invasion has gotten a 66 on Rotten Tomatoes, and basically what happened was this show was during the point of where the restrictions had messed up a lot of things as far as the writing, the actors, and all of that different type of stuff. So it was made during the time where Marvel was at their worst. This was before Bob Iger came back. So basically, it just sucks that it's gotten this low rating, but it actually resonated a lot when it came to certain issues dealing with like the black community and other things, as far as like dealing with discrimination and dealing with like government conspiracies. Like it hit every single niche that it needed to hit in order to basically talk about an espionage story, and not just an espionage story, but an espionage story from a black person's perspective as well. And so, basically, most of this score issue is because most people are just fed up with just bad shows. I don't believe in superhero fatigue. I'm tired of hearing it, to be honest with you. Because it doesn't help that people want to, like, throw everything in a box, right, to explain some of the issues that's been going on in the Hollywood industry. And it's deeper than just superhero issues. Like, this stuff is happening across the board where the writing has just sucked. And then you got the writer's strike going on. So it's almost as if they were already heading downhill anyway, because the strike happened right after this pretty much dropped for the actors or whatnot. And it was in this window where it's like, okay, you got all this stuff going on, but let's talk about the show. So the show was pretty good. We talk about the cast. Emily Clark played Gaia. That was the girl in the show who pretty much was playing both sides, like a spy on both sides. Then we got Samuel Jackson. He was playing Nick Fury, and Nick Fury is supposed to be the leader of S.H.I.E.L.D., and S.H.I.E.L.D. in this situation doesn't really exist anymore, but the ramifications of what S.H.I.E.L.D. had built still existed through the Skrulls, who were doing all the espionage. They were doing everything from gathering resources to intel. Like, they could get in different places because they could shift shape, and that's what made them so dangerous, but also an asset to Samuel Jackson and S.H.I.E.L.D. and everything and all of that stuff. So then you got Talos, who, if you saw Captain Marvel, he was in Captain Marvel, and they were doing their thing on Captain Marvel. So he was the leader of the Skrulls. They were looking for a planet to basically live their lives and get away from the Kree, who are these blue people, but they've since changed who's an original Kree and who isn't. But they're supposed to be these blue people that love to go around the universe and conquering stuff, but at the same time, conquering worlds where there's civil unrest and there's a lot of stuff going on. And that's how they ended up finding the Skrulls and basically destroying their home world and whatnot. So they came to Earth, and then that's when Kingsley Benadir, main character that's the villain, is Gravik. Gravik is supposed to be a rebel faction of Skrulls that you know what I'm saying, masked and gaining power during the blip. And during that period, Fury wasn't around. So that is why he's such a big deal, because during that period, the Skrulls went through a lot of stuff, being as everybody went through a lot of stuff because everybody lost a lot of people. Basically, his character is supposed to be the main antagonist because he was looking for help or whatnot. And not help in the sense of like he was looking for help to fight off the Kree, but like more so like a place to stay until he get back on his feet or whatever, because he lost his whole family when he was a kid fighting against the Kree and everything, and he was basically already a rebel soldier then. But then he went left because he was trying to, you know, create his own community, and he's going after everyone else that's already displayed they don't care about them, and it went left. And so a lot of people have been griping with this, how Disney likes to change heroes and villains and all that stuff into, you know, I'm going to do the same thing my oppressor does to me. Does that make me any better than them when I'm trying to free my people? And this is, they're calling it the Killmonger effect. You can look that up. I would say Frankie had it on the nose, the Killmonger effect. Look that up. It's an issue where he has every right to basically go after what he wants or whatever for his people, because Fury had promised them that he was going to find them a new world, but Captain Marvel and him, they just couldn't find him a new world, or he had disappeared during the blip, which is also something else they haven't really expanded upon on what happened during the blip when he was gone. But the ramifications of him leaving caused him to really realize, like, hey, they in it for themselves and they need to do whatever they need to do to help their people. So that's what ended up happening for him, and so that's why he went evil. And the way that works is, I mean, I looked at it kind of like the Black Panthers or whatever, like, you know what I'm saying, you start off like that where you have good intentions, and then they get turned left because, you know, that one leader in there just can't get it together, and he was one of the leaders that couldn't get it together. Talos was on the other end. He was like, look, we can work with these people. We should do that. We shouldn't just kill them off. Like, that's really inhumane in a way, and it's just not right. But then Samuel Jackson came in and was like, look, we can't even tolerate our own people on here that look different shades and colors and this and that. So what makes you think that y'all green behinds can come over here and do that? So it was just crazy wild. This show was great. I believe it deserves more than a 66. I mean, at least a 70, at least. You know, at least a 70, and a 7 out of 10 I would give it for a basic rating. But overall, through the entire show, it kept you guessing. You didn't know who was a Skrull. Rhodey ended up, you know, let's spoilers now. Rhodey ended up being a Skrull, and the way they played it, he was being real snarky and stuff and real nasty. Then at the end, we found out, another spoiler, that he was locked up with the Skrulls since like Endgame. Like, really not even Endgame, Civil War, when he broke his back. So I'm like, this is wild. Like, the Skrulls have been here since the 90s, so it makes sense that they could change and manipulate the time stream to have different things happen. So basically, that's what happened. You know what I'm saying? Like, all of that was going on and whatnot. So at the end of the day, I mean, I'm looking at this like, okay, this is a good show because, like I said, the story was good and everything else was good in there. The only thing that sucked was that last battle with the CGI, and all of that was because it was rushed. The CGI battle between Emily Clark and Gaia, and I don't think Gaia has to die. I just think they need to find a way to get those powers out of her so she doesn't become overpowered, because she's stronger than every single character in the Marvel Universe right now. She has Captain Marvel powers because at the end they have something where he's trying to get the powers of all the characters, and she gets them. Her and Talos, she acts like she's Samuel Jackson, and then finds out, oh no, it's an actual Skrull in there that's getting all this radiation and stuff, and they not really, it doesn't really affect them like that. And so she transforms and fights and beats him, and it's like, bro, what? And then it looked rushed and choppy, like I said. The entire story up to that point was great. And then they had another scene where they kind of insinuated that she was going to be doing some stuff in the future. So I'm going to give Secret Invasion a 9 out of 10. I mean, not a 9 out of 10, 8 out of 10. Because it had a good story. It told a decent enough story, like I said. And then Fury's wife and everything, all of that romantic stuff, it worked based off of what was going on. And they even shared a Skrull human kiss that was so nasty, it almost made me throw up on my black Air Force Ones. But anyway, it did a good job in talking about inclusion and all of these woke things that people really don't like to talk about. So I give it I'll get an 8 out of 10. Even though that last episode was mad trash. Just because of the fight. Outside of the fight, everything else was good. Everything else was good. So I think more people should talk about this, and more people should check this out. Like I said, I'm not going to ramble on too long because Swift Talks are supposed to be short. I try to do 15 minutes or less, and, you know what I'm saying, move on from there. So you all have a great day, and we'll see you on the next Swift Talk.